Welcome to the Peak Collective podcast with myself, Shane.
Myself, Luca.
And today we are talking no BS, just fitness with a superhero twist.
Oh, we're doing that episode. So yeah, we wanted another passion of, especially mine, but Shane's as well, is also talking about like superhero movies and stuff like that.
No way near as much of a passion of me. I like it. This dude is in a league of his own.
Again, like I said in one of the earlier episodes, I'm a bit of a nerd. But we still wanted to try and make it slightly fitness based. So
yeah, we're still
going to try and go in around how the celebrities kind of train, how they look like superheroes, and also just kind of talk about some of the superhero films as well, to be fair. We briefly mentioned in the last episode that we saw Deadpool versus Wolverine. No, it's just Deadpool and Wolverine, isn't it?
What a film!
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. It's been the best, as we said before, the best Marvel film out for a while, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean, up to like, Avengers Endgame, there were obviously some stinkers, like Thor 2 kind of sucked.
Yeah, I didn't like that
Iron Man 2 wasn't great. I'm trying to think of some other ones that weren't great in the first.
Iron Man 2.
Yeah, Iron Man 2?
Yeah.
With, what's his name? Can't remember now. And Mickey Rourke played, but I can't remember the character's name. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones that weren't that great leading up to. But yeah, all in all, like most of Marvel's movies leading up to were kind of good. Minus a few stinkers, but since Endgame has been maybe...
I reckon most of them haven't been great, off the top of my head.
And even Deadpool and Wolverine, a little bit of a spoiler, kind of like joked about that as well.
Yeah, no, they did.
Like,
throw it out there, try not to make any spoilers like that. But that film itself was very good. It was nice to see the two of them in a film together as well.
Yeah.
Been waiting for it for a while as well, since it was announced and filming.
Yeah, Wolverine's literally my third favourite superhero character, just after Batman and Spider-Man. So.
Ladies and gentlemen, he has a list. He just said Wolverine is his third favourite. This is where we're going with it. Right, I don't even know my top 10. I've never thought about this. He knows who his third is. So when we say nerd, we're in different leagues.
I don't know, I have literally a bookshelf, I don't know how big, pretty damn big, filled with my graphic novels, my manga, some statues and figurines. Every
time I go somewhere, like I'll go into London or away or vintage shops and there's some characters or some anime or some superhero stuff, I look through it, I'm like, would Luca want this? I sent him a picture once, I was like, you'd love all this. Genuinely, he's the guy you're chatting to.
I mean, just the main reason I'm going to Japan in a few weeks. So just buy a bunch of this.
Nice. I want to see him on this table as well. We're going to get all of them out.
Yeah, I will, don't worry. But yeah, it was definitely one of the best. It was cool seeing Wolverine in his bloody costume for once ever.
Yeah, in the yellow.
I've always loved Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, but he's never
had the comic suit, has he?
And as a kid growing up with the X-Men cartoon, the comics, that was really we The future films of the Marvel, I'm still unsure.
Yeah, we've literally just run through a list, haven't we? There's a few on here that we were looking about with the release, nearly 2 weeks ago now. One stands out, obviously Fantastic Four should be pretty cool if they do it properly. One shot at it, they got to get it right.
Yeah, I know that, again, leading up to Endgame, did a lot of minor character movies. Yeah. Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk, etc., right? The big difference is, though, is these characters were still the main Avengers in the comic books. So, regardless, they still had some of the best powers, some of the best stories that made sense to make them movies, right? My biggest nitpick with the most recent Marvel movies and TV series is they're choosing characters. Some of them, don't get me wrong, are pretty cool, but like Doctor Strange as an example, but most of them are very, very B-rate characters. Yeah. And the fact that for the last, I think 3 or 4 years now, they've had the rights to X-Men and Fantastic Four and just haven't done anything with them of merit. X-Men 97, don't know if you saw the cartoon, that was actually pretty good. But of merit is, why not use your ace in the sleeve? Like, why not use that? I mean, I'm hoping Fantastic Four will be great. I wish Galactus was going to be in it. I don't know why they haven't used Galactus yet.
There's some rumours that apparently is in the works, I don't know.
Hope. Not a big fan of Doctor Doom with Robert Downey Jr. I'm not gonna lie.
You don't like the announcement, do you?
I really don't.
But as I said, it could be a version of infamous Iron Man.
Yeah, it's just, I'd rather let him die
as his character,
Endgame 5-year-old movie. And let him die and just bring in Victor Von Doom, the actual Doctor Doom.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do agree with that.
And literally, like the Deadpool movie said, enough of the multiverse stuff, man.
Yeah, leave Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. That's his legacy in the whole Marvel thing, right? That's what you're known for. To come back as a new character, will it have the same effect? I don't know. They got to do it very well.
I'm just thinking as them as well, right? You do, if you want a fresh face of the Marvel universe, you know, you finished the Avengers, you finished Endgame, etc. You want the fresh face. Why bring back a character?
Is it screaming desperation?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. They're paying him ungodly amounts of money, guaranteed,
to come back.
Because he
try and get the talk. We're starting talking about it now.
Yeah. But just the fresh faces, bringing in Fantastic Four, bringing in X-Men. I know it's hard with the rights for Spider-Man, but we need some level of that category of superhero as well.
Yeah, if they fully lose that.
Because the new Captain America, I'm not that interested. It might be good, it might not be.
Yeah, it's not buying me though.
Unfortunately, Spider-Man should be the front of Marvel. He literally is the face of Marvel.
Yeah.
Like pre all these movies, I know people are more conscientious of who Iron Man, Captain America, whoever else is now. If you go back to in primary school, when I used to go to primary school, the people that kind of knew comics but not really,
Spider-Man.
It was always Spider-Man, this guy, Wolverine, and then the DC side, Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman.
All that.
They were the main heroes. You only really knew Iron Man and Captain America if you were into comics. It's only the movies that made it this big. They need to realistically Hugh Jackman to retire, bring in a new set of X-Men, bring in a new set of Fantastic Four, because they're the two biggest hero collectives they're going to have.
And then work from them.
Rather than trying to do all these little side bits.
I do agree with you.
I think it's a waste of money. I mean, their budgets are ridiculous, hundreds of millions of dollars. They're not making the money back.
No. They're living off the one good film every 2 or 3 years, aren't they? And then they, like you said, they've got the B-rated ones, just as filler movies, really.
And it's the thing with the whole comic book eco-verse at the moment, though. I mean, even if you look at the DC side, they're a complete mess.
I mean, the revival of Batman is on the cards.
Yeah, they've got Robert Pattinson Batman.
Very good film, by the way. He plays it very well.
Really good. But then they're going to have another DC universe where the guy that was in Ungentlemanly Warfare, the Reacher guy, apparently he's going to be the other Batman. The Joker verse, the other universe, which is with Joaquin Phoenix as Joker, apparently that's going to have a Batman. So you have 3 different Batmans and 3 different movies.
3 different verses.
And then they already had that Flash movie, which I couldn't be bothered to watch.
Right.
They had Michael Keaton's Batman.
It's ridiculous.
DC's as much of a mess as Marvel right now.
What was the Rock's film as well?
Oh, Black Adam.
Yeah, Black Adam. With the whole, which was an Eternals copy basically through the Marvel series.
And that was, again, it's a write-off anyway, because DC's already gotten rid of Black Adam, Aquaman, and Henry Cavill Superman, even though Henry Cavill was a great Superman. Got rid of them all so they can bring in another universe, but they're keeping some movie characters like Robert Pattinson
to keep the old one
for another movie universe. Complete mess. But yeah, on a tangent here, but what they literally just need to streamline both sides. They need to, hopefully with James Gunn taking the helm of DC, get rid of them all, just literally have a streamline effect of this is the Batman, this is Superman, this is Wonder Woman.
That's the verses. If they're going to have cameos in each film, it's the now and present ones.
Yeah, and I don't know why they're all doing the multiverse stuff. I don't know why this all became a popular thing in every media at the moment. And then with the Marvel front, same thing, just clean it up.
Yeah.
They've got the excuse now because that Kang the Conqueror actor, he's going to jail.
Yeah.
Hence why they've had to...
So they've axed that completely.
So yeah, it's a lot. And I've actually got a pet peeve with like most just modern media at the moment, with like video games, movies, even music to a degree, where just everything seems like a rehash or a remake or a sequel, things like that. Yeah. I would rather these companies just create something new. Like the X-Men, I love Hugh Jackman, I love Deadpool vs Wolverine, I love all these actors, but let's just bring something new in and have them new, rather than keep having to remind us of.
Well,
The old.
If the owner of DC and Marvel is watching the Pete Collective podcast, this is your time to say it.
I'm sure I'm not the only person that's into this stuff. Sorry, I went on a massive tangent there. Did you want to talk about anything before we get into that?
No, that's what we wanted to bring in. And how we're going to bring this into fitness, right? We're not just here to talk comic books and stuff like that. We're not on that mission, but it's a bit more of a chill factor, a bit of an insight to, I like movies and stuff like that. Read a little bit on them. Nowhere near as much as you, but that's also your passion, right? So you understand a little bit more from Luca's side and him through this episode as well. Coming into the fitness scene, there's a jacked up Wolverine on the mic. What do all superheroes have in common, bar a superpower?
Jacked.
They are jacked.
Yes. They actually did know how Barbie's always deemed as like the reason that a lot of girls grow up with body dysmorphia. Yeah. They did a study where superheroes tend to be like the boys' version of body dysmorphia.
I get that, and do you know what? Back in the day, you're going to love me for saying this, Action Man. Because you're older than me. That's not even a thing anymore.
God, as if...
Action Man must have been you.
Yeah, but it was dying out when I was young. I'm not that old.
Okay, sorry. No, but you get what
I with Action Man, but they weren't as popular as they were in the 50s.
Like, Action Man was a thing, man, back in the day. That's one of them, He-Man. Oh, they're making a He-Man film.
I do love He-Man.
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yes, they're making a He-Man film. They're probably going to mess it up as well.
He-Man and Conan the Barbarian are like two idols of mine. Again, it's just how jacked they are.
Exactly. But that's what you're brought up with, right? These alpha males in the film industry. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, mass WWE star, growing up.
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman, jacked up.
Henry Cavill. Jacked.
A lot of them. And they're saving the woman, they're saving the planet, they're doing the masculine things. Every kid that looks up to them watching these films, you're like, I want to be that dude.
It's interesting as well. If we go back to, let's not go too back to the 60s, let's go to the 80s, late 70s, 80s of modern superhero movies, right? Where you had, oh man, what's his name that played Superman in the first few movies?
Christopher Reeves?
Yes, Christopher Reeves. In good shape, but not jacked.
No, he was just
Michael Keaton's Batman, skinny but not jacked.
Good shape.
Obviously you had, what's his name, is the Hulk. I mean, he was jacked.
Louis Ferrigno.
Yeah, but that's a different equation.
By the way, if you don't know Louis Ferrigno as Hulk, he played the Hulk.
I'll post something here.
Without like CGI or anything. He was just painted. That's how big he was.
He was the Hulk.
He was the Hulk.
So let's take him out of the equation. Everything pre that, we had George Clooney as Batman, Val Kilmer as Batman. Hugh Jackman in the first X-Men movie was nowhere near as
Look at the comparison, we'll add this as well.
Yeah,
to 25 years ago, in the first film, to his latest one, and how he looks at 55 years old compared to then is ridiculous.
And I'm trying to think back to who the first actor was where it was like, oh, he's got in good shape. I mean, I know there was the Tobey Maguire one when he goes in the mirror at the beginning of Spider-Man. But if you actually look back, he's not that jacked.
He's not that jacked.
He's just a guy who's been to the gym for like a month.
Does it stem from the
Bale,
Hulk?
Batman Begins?
Yeah, Christian Bale was in good shape. But was he...
He was big. For the time period, pretty big.
Yeah.
I think the first one that comes to mind though, first two that come to mind was like, wow, they actually look like the comic book characters.
Are you going to say what I'm going to say or not? I might be too far ahead of you here.
Maybe.
Go on.
Two Chris's.
Yeah.
Chris Evans.
Yeah.
And, what's his name? Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Those are the two.
Yeah, two I have.
Especially Chris Hemsworth in the first Thor. My God, was he huge in that movie. And they're the first two in my head. It's 2011, I want to say.
Yeah.
That I can remember.
That's why I thought it might have been too later after you were talking about the early Batmans.
What's his name? Chris Evans comes out of the pod as Captain America.
He's strapped in, and then he's huge.
And Chris Hemsworth, when he's holding the hammer in the first movie, his biceps like this bloody big. They're the first actors I can think of where I was like, wow, they are huge.
Is it Chris Evans as Captain America where he holds the helicopter?
Yes,
and apparently
that's in Civil War.
Yeah. So that's even later, but apparently that was actually real.
Yeah, it was.
He held a helicopter.
So I want to say those two, Then the one where I was like, wow, he's just escalated on another level was Henry Cavill and Superman.
Yeah.
When he's like, I think he's like pushing a boat.
He was like too big almost compared to the rest.
Out of every actor, I think he got nearly maybe the closest to like superhero levels of jacked.
Status, yeah.
Him and probably obviously The Rock as Black Adam.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of the movie, but The Rock was huge and shredded.
Yeah.
And then obviously shout out this guy, the Wolverine, the 2013 movie, when was the first movie Hugh Jackman got like shredded for that movie. I remember like reading articles about how he like went on water fast for like 3 days just so he couldn't see like any fat.
So low, wasn't he?
So yeah, I'd say they're the first. So like the early 2010s, I want to say.
Yeah.
But we had a few anomalies here and there in like the 2000s. But the early 2010s was like, wow, we're having an influx of just jacked characters. I watched the men's health videos of train like Henry Cavill or train like...
and in the magazines as well, 10 exercises, you know, Chris Evans did to get this jacked.
What was the one I was watching the other day? Knowing Creed 2, that massive, I think he's Russian or something. Yeah. It was how to train like him for the movies currently.
Oh, we haven't even spoken about that. Like Sylvester Stallone, Michael B. Jordan, all of them in the boxing films as well.
Yeah, true.
Man, they're all big.
Yeah, it's different, and we'll get into it. I think why. But it was like training like him. Guess what his training was?
Oh, go on.
It was HIIT training.
Right.
For 10 to 15 minutes a day.
A second.
It was like burpees, mountain climbers, and push-ups.
I'm genuinely confused.
And then what was his other thing? Like running. It was ridiculous.
We're about the same dude.
The Creed 2 guy.
Yeah.
Jacked Eastern European guy. I can't remember where Europe he's from. He's Russian or something.
He's Russian in the film. This dude.
Yeah.
Jago's son, yeah.
HIIT training apparently. And look at bloody Chris Hemsworth app. What's it called? Get Thor fit with Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
That's all HIIT training.
Yeah, no, it's not.
All HIIT training. This is kind of where we want to move into the health side of it now. You got Hugh Jackman, right? He's a biggish guy, more shredded, in my opinion, than big in comparison to a lot of these other actors. Apparently on 6,000 to 7,000 calories a day of chicken, rice, and broccoli.
I'm going to put this in terms. Chicken, rice, and broccoli is tops 500 calories.
Exactly.
Like 500.
Exactly.
You're not getting 6k calories.
And 6,000 calories a day. Like, what are you doing to need 6,000 calories a day? And to be that shredded at 6,000 calories.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, think of like a bodybuilder, right? Neil, our mate that we had on before, his off season, he's on like 5,000 or something. Way freaking bigger than Hugh Jackman. I think Chris Bumstead's like 5,000 or something as well. And then when they're cutting to get as lean as Hugh Jackman actually was,
they'll go down to like 2.
right? It's like 2,000. It's sometimes less.
Yeah.
Right. So the spout and BS about the nutrition, the spout and BS about their training,
The workouts.
and then that you're made to think that if you train like them, which they're not even showing you the actual training they've been doing.
No.
If you eat like them, they're not showing you the actual nutrition that they've been doing.
Yeah.
You'll somehow look like them. And when you work in a gym environment like we do, how often is it you see people that even look remotely close to them? Even some bodybuilders don't even look close to some of these people. And apparently they're natural as well.
We'll leave that there, shall we?
No, I'm calling them out.
Every superhero ever. They're already actors, man. Like figurine.
You only have to look at. You literally showed me Hugh Jackman picture of him like a few months ago.
Yeah.
Where before he's playing Wolverine, he's just a normal dude who looks like he might go gym twice a week.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, a few months later, it's shredded and gained size.
And if you now look at him at 55 years old
as well, let's bear that in mind.
Again, we'll add in like the comparison or something, or go look at it.
The Rock, easy example.
He looks better in his 50s than he did in his 20s.
Yes, him in his prime WWE era
doesn't touch The Rock now.
How he is in his mid 50s.
Yeah.
And he's just getting more shredded and bigger every year.
He just eats chicken, man.
Doesn't happen. Just doesn't happen. Like, if only it were that simple. I remember when, and the issue is, teaches people how to think wrong about nutrition and exercise. When I was younger, probably like my late teens, early 20s, I tried to eat and train like these guys. I was doing a lot of HIIT training.
You follow the workouts, you watch them on YouTube. I was doing
like chicken, broccoli and rice. And I'd do it for like 6 months to a year. I'm like, why the hell am I not looking?
Why do I not look like Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
Why am I not looking like The Rock? You know. And this is the biggest issue. I'd say there's three factors.
Yeah.
Genetics is gonna be huge.
Yeah.
Don't try and eat like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's just not gonna happen. You're not gonna look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. The training can be largely genetic. I mean, again, you can get Arnold's Bible of Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding. It literally has his program on there. Guarantee if you train like him, you will not look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, even with the actual program that he was doing. And thirdly, most of these dudes are on steroids. Probably very small doses.
He dropped it. He dropped the bomb.
Probably very small doses. The Rock probably a lot more. But
I think, yeah, it's
like Hugh Jackman probably likes some testosterone.
They are definitely people that are naive to this, put it in simple terms, they are in a multi-million-pound franchise business to be this superhero, to be the jack dude, to have the six-pack abs that guys look up to. Women are in the cinema like, wow, can't take my eyes off it. The aesthetic of it. Why would they not pay doctors to put them on steroids to a safe amount and get them tested every single day?
Yeah, and let's just put it in this example. You're offered $40 million
to take a tiny bit of testosterone at the age of 50 when yours is depleting anyway.
Yeah.
Are you going to say no?
You're going to have free personal training.
Yeah.
You're going to get the steroids probably for free. All these
Make
things.
sure they're safe.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Well, you would.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, of course you would.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
You either get the money or you don't. Batman Begins is a great example with Christian Bale, because he just did The Machinist when he got offered the Batman role, where he was anorexic. We'll put the picture up again.
Yeah, the comparison of them two is crazy as well.
And then Batman Begins, he put on something like, I can't remember, like 40 pounds or something ridiculous.
It's just stupid. The comparison, how small he was.
And again, it was literally...
To then the Batman film.
Do you want the role or not?
Yeah.
Like, they literally said that to him. If you want the role, you need to look like this. If you don't want the role, then F off, basically.
If you still don't believe us, just go watch the first Captain America film.
Yeah.
They literally inject him with steroids and he's then Captain America. It's literally what the film's about.
To be fair to Chris Evans, I think the only ones he may have been on was probably the first Captain America.
Yeah, I don't mean that. I just mean the actual film is
yeah.
He's a skinny dude, gets no attention, isn't a superhero. They then inject him with all this stuff and he's now suddenly jacked up.
I don't know if you've noticed, but he's one of the superheroes, very rare, that doesn't actually take his shirt off outside the first Captain America.
He keeps his suit on.
So I reckon he may have done it for the first one, but then all the others just kind of trains. That's what I reckon. Versus Chris Hemsworth, who
always got his shoulders out,
and then just gets like 3 times bigger for the 4 movies. So, and again, it kind of goes into reasoning behind how as well. If you go into bodybuilding, steroids was still a bit of a not knowing what to do with them during the 70s and 80s outside of bodybuilding. Then all of a sudden, it was the 90s, 2000s, you started seeing these action heroes, like Sylvester Stallone's a prime example, suddenly start getting jacked. What's his name? Muscles and Brussels, Jean-Claude Van Damme. A bunch of these actors start coming in, just way more jacked than the actors were 10 years ago. And it's pretty obvious.
They haven't just done an extra set of bicep curls.
And then suddenly 2000s, 2010s comes about, where now we have way more science around steroids, we have way more science behind nutrition, way more science behind training. It's one of those things where, do they be honest about it? Because they are a massive idol for kids. All of a sudden they're going to be like, oh, if I want to look at that, I'll take steroids. But you can counter that to, they're also causing a bunch of mental health problems, because people are going to think, oh, why am I not looking like that? Because I'm doing everything they're telling me to do. Personally, I think it should be kind of in the middle. They should show them the training they're actually doing.
Yeah.
Even though bodybuilders and stuff like that will know it's BS. They know it's BS anyway, what you're showing anyway.
Yeah.
So you may as well just show how you're actually training, show what you're actually eating. At least then you're kind of showing that side of things.
Because the whole thing with taking enhancements as well, or steroids, is you still got to work well hard for them to work. If I just put some in my body and didn't go to the gym for the week, I will look exactly the same as I do now. There is nothing that changes it. Genuinely, the amount of sheer hard work and determination you have to make them work with you is ridiculous on its own level.
Yeah, they literally just make you be able to train harder.
It's just a recovery. That's all it is, yeah.
Like you can train harder, you can recover better, and your metabolism is going to be a bit better because of that.
Yeah.
So you can eat a bit more, so therefore gain a bit more muscle as well. That's basically all it does, but you can obviously see how dramatic that can be.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't take away from it. Like you still got to train damn hard to look like these guys, to look like actual superheroes. Is mental. But yeah, I think there has to be a little bit more. Like the Reacher guy, he actually admitted he was on steroids.
Yeah.
Well.
Also, throwback Tom Hardy at Bane.
Yeah.
Big.
Yeah.
Compared to like just Tom Hardy now, who's in very good shape.
Yeah, big. He's another one from the early 2010s, because that's 2012 when I say Dark Knight Rises, where people were like, "Whoa, he's got."
Where does he come out of nowhere?
Yeah. Did you ever see their movie with him, Bronson?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's big in that as well. Could have been on steroids, who knows?
Who knows? Not really, are they?
But I think we'll wrap up.
As your superhero one.
Yeah, I think, you know, as it's a podcast, we'll probably just go into random bits. I mean, obviously I'm going to Japan in 5 weeks from this filming, so there'll be a lot of stories I can probably tell from that. And we can just maybe chat a little bit more around like the other stuff we're also into.
Yeah, good.
And still related, like we did today with like the fitness side of things.
Enhancement of it as well.
But yeah.
I'm good, wrap it up there.
Yeah, just do it.
So, thank you very much. Cheers, buddy.